Good evening, Dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
Your little countdown. All right, we're good to go.
Are we good?
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
good evening from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah,
Nice.
Who are we talking to tonight, man?
Yes, it's been really nice talking to you guys. Where are you guys at?
We're out of Missouri mainly. I'm out of Columbia, Missouri. Matt's out of Kansas City, and we are talking to Fuzz McGee of Spectrum Static out of Portland, Oregon. Right? All right.
Yeah,
Sunny.
originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
That's a big change of scenery.
Yeah, big time. I don't know, Louisville's really cool. Well, Louisville, if I say Louisville too many times, people won't know what the fuck I'm saying. They're like, what?
Yeah, but if
Like,
you're from
that's how
there,
you
that's
say
how
it
you're
there.
supposed to say it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I saw you post that on, I think Tony Ellis was talking about first concerts and talking about a Kiss show. And you said something about going to see a show in Evansville.
Yeah, White
Indiana.
Zombie. My parents took me and a buddy to see White Zombie.
Did they go in with you or did they?
No. Yeah, they
Oh, okay.
actually entrusted us to go in there. That was,
Wow.
Yeah, that was a blast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Toadies and the Super Suckers opened for them.
Oh, nice.
Interesting bill.
We talked to Lisa Umbarger about that tour, actually.
Yeah. And I've got relatives, and I knew where Evansville was because I've got people right across the river in southern Illinois. It's where a lot of my family comes from. You know, Carbondale, El Dorado, that area.
Oh, yeah.
About an hour away from Evansville. It's like, yeah, I know where he's talking about. Yeah.
All over the place. Yeah, we lived in Asheville, North Carolina for a little while, and then we moved to Boise, Idaho, and we lived there for about a year and a couple of months.
Mhm.
And then we moved here, and we've been living here for like going on 6 years, I guess.
Right on. Are you wanted by the authorities?
No?
No?
Yeah, I've been asked that plenty of times from all the movies. Yeah.
Are you in the witness
Well,
protection
it was
program?
one of the things, but that was, and it was a long running joke with people being like, well, why are you moving around so much? It's like, well, we can't afford to take all these vacations. We just fucking up and move someplace and live there for a little while. That's cheaper than just taking a vacation, you know? And so you're like, oh, you find a place to live in another city, and then you just go there.
Yeah. Smart move. I guess. Yeah. It costs a lot to go on vacation.
Yeah, especially when you're out here.
Yeah. How did you wind up across that wide of a plane to say going all the way from
To the Pacific
Kentucky to the West
Northwest.
Coast? Yeah.
I just being a kid and always wanting to come out here. I cut my teeth on the cornerstone of, anybody from my age around that time, Nirvana. So that pretty much got the ball rolling. And, I say that I'm from Louisville, which is a city, but I actually grew up in this little shitty 2-stoplight town in Western Kentucky that's just all churches and gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that really kept me plugged in with, modern society when it come to music and shit was, staying up late and watching 120 minutes and stuff like that. And, then hearing, of course, the Nirvana making mentions of certain people, and that's of course how I got into Mudhoney is one of my favorite bands in the whole wide world. And, Dinosaur Jr., Sonic Youth.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Sonic Youth more than I've seen, anybody else that I know of.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, I've said the same thing for years. Like I want to retire in the Pacific Northwest for a lot of reasons. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But I just, a lot of the, art and music and everything I care for. And plus, man, I'm looking at the weather, which I know hasn't been fucking great there, nor has it been good here.
Not the last week. The last week has been all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, it fucked up everywhere. I mean, when they're getting 6-8 inches of snow in Austin, it's bad.
Right, yeah. I have a buddy down there too. Yeah, then his power is just off and on and off and on, and we're actually working on a project together, which has been that's been put on hold because of all that's going on there and whatnot.
Right. But I've always wanted to live there. Well, I mean, another thing too is I look into it and it's with the exception of this week, pretty temperate. I mean, most of the year. My wife doesn't like the rain though.
Yeah, you get used to it. It's what's weird is this year it was when you say rain, it's just a slow rain all the time. Now, this past winter until we started getting all the snow and the ice the other day,
Mhm.
It's just been like shitty, like pouring rain the whole time. And it usually doesn't do that. Not just torrential downpour. That kind of reminded me of the Southeast being like, where like, oh, you hear a thunder crack and then before you know it, like you got a fucking flood.
Right. Yeah. There's plenty of extremes here. It's very funny. I remember like Buzzo from the Melvins saying that, well, living in the Pacific Northwest is like living inside of a shellfish.
Yeah. So he didn't like it too much. He had to bounce.
It's like everything is just wet all the time, just wet. And,
wet, no sun.
Right. But that wouldn't bother me, man.
That's
as long
what
as we
I like, though, is that, I love the sun, but I also, it's cool to have days where it doesn't rain, but then it's just gray all the time.
Yeah, never bothered me either. And then, man, the extremes here in the Midwest.
Yeah. Moderate sounds really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they refer to it a lot as mild. I've still yet to figure out what the fuck that's supposed to mean. That's what they call it, like on TV, like, oh, well, it's rather mild. I'm like, okay, it's when we're talking about salsa, or like what the fuck,
Right.
Ooh, es muy caliente.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're coming from a area, and you probably some in Kentucky, maybe not quite as much as here, but it's not uncommon to go from 10 below in the winter to 110 in the summer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not at all. And then that with the humidity of like 100%.
Yeah.
As to say, you walk out, and so I've always made a joke to people that like everybody, like in the summer, like around in like like Kentucky, West Kentucky, or like Louisville or whatever, they come out and like everybody's shiny, but everybody's pissed off because like that shining is just from like like all the sweat exuding out of your skin, from how humid it is. You're shiny, but it doesn't feel good.
No. Yeah. Those extremes just suck. I can't take the fucking swing. I need something just right down the middle. It's got to be a little cooler or whatever. So, I mean, was the guitar always your axe then? Or, I mean, God, you've been playing music for a while now, have you? How many years did you say?
Since I was like 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and I am 39 now, so yeah, quite a while. Yeah, I mean, guitar was the first thing I ever picked up. I bought like a little harmony. It was like for like $35 from some dude that wouldn't hardly stay in tune.
Uh-huh.
So that helped me get into the noise aspect of things right away because I couldn't play. And this guitar just made nothing but a bunch of fucking noise anyway. So I'm like, cool. I'll just like turn on the overdrive and just like scratch, my pick on the strings and like mutter some sort of weird poetry over the top of that. And of course, nobody liked it, but
right.
But I did.
Uh-huh. What were some of the first bands that you were in and shit when you were out this way?
When I was in high school, me and some buddies, we so it was a 4-piece. Mm-hmm. See, I haven't even really been. That's the thing. I actually haven't even been in a lot of bands. So that was like the first band. It was me and 3 of my other friends. So I played guitar and I did lead vocals on a couple of songs. And dude played bass. The dude that played bass did most of the vocals. And another guy that was a lot better than all of us played guitar. And then the drummer, the other guitar player, would had the biggest hand in like the writing the the songs. And we were called Penfield. We named it after that jerk off that was on MTV. Speaking of 120.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Matt. Another Matt.
Penfield. Yeah.
Another Matt. So yeah, that's
Penfield.
We called it Penfield.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Any merch with his mug on it or anything?
No. There was a girl that liked to do a lot of like I don't know. She would like get that that paint that you can paint on fabric, and she made us a bunch of T-shirts. And
right.
It said Penfield, and of course with the I had like an X, like like the Flipper logo.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Got to do something to make Matt Penfield more rock and roll.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I wrote all the words to the songs. The dude that played bass, he sang most of them, and then there was a couple that one. It was one. I was just the lead vocalist. Like at the time, I wasn't as good at like playing the guitar and singing at the same time, so I just did the lead vocals on that. So we had like I think like 5 originals. And then all the rest of them were just like Nirvana covers and, Stepping Stone, like the Sex Pistols version of it. And, that kind of thing.
Wow, I haven't thought about that track in that.
It was pretty much just me.
Yeah.
Many, many years just doing like all of everything. Then like after I got up to Louisville to go to college, like I hooked up with some dudes. I just kept trying out some different stuff with some different people. I mean, and it never worked. I don't know how I would get involved with these people. I mean, no offense. I don't mean everybody's taste or anything. I mean, like these dudes are into like the Get Up Kids and like the Alkaline Trio, and I mean, it just wasn't really my cup of tea. There's nothing wrong, people like that shit, they like it, and it makes them happy. And hell yeah, dude, go for it. But yeah, this like nothing ever worked out. So, my wife and I got together. We started running around in 2001, and like we officially got together in like 2003, and we have been the band ever since. So I play guitar and do the voice, and she plays drums.
Right on.
And then, of course, like on the songs, on the albums, I play bass and keyboard and harmonica and like whatever else. But that's pretty much the band.
Yeah. How did you two meet? Was she a musician?
No, we just bumped into each other at work. And we just started talking about music.
Right.
I was mentioning some things like Sonic Youth and Sebado and, shit like that. And she wasn't as familiar with. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let's hang out and listen to some music and, stuff like that. And I, and started bringing over, like Mudhoney albums and stuff like that, so it pretty much just kind of like took off from there. We did have a bass player a couple of times. Yeah. And that just never, I don't know, like every time we would ever have like a third person, it just never would work out. So, I mean, we've always just been the two of us. I'm not like a control freak. I just never really liked what they played. I didn't feel like they got it, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it needed to be a little something different. I mean, they were always friends too. So, it was like, always like a clean break, no animosity or anything like that. And, we just always enjoyed having that whole like primitive sound of being two people,
right?
But no white stripes, please.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we've been getting since like 2004, and it's.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's all good. The people, just not for us, I guess you would say.
Well, I mean, it's such a tired algorithm to go that way anyway, and say that, especially there's like female artists or whatever,
right.
Talk about that with others. It's like, what does that even mean?
Like, if you've got a 4-man band, you don't go, oh, it's like the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. Thanks. Totally. But like every time it's like girl on drums and dude on guitar and voice, and it's like, oh, what do you mean, like the White Stripes?
Right. So it was Baby, I Think I Love You, and I could really use a drummer.
Yeah, it really was. Well, at one time when we started off, it was I built this thing called the Shit Kit, and I bought like a piccolo snare drum from a dude, and I took a 5-gallon bucket, and I flipped it over, and then we made this thing called the Dick Stick. So it was a broken drumstick, but with a shock rag duct tape to it, so it looked like a big dick.
Nice.
Bam. So that was the mallet. And like a whiskey bottle and a coffee cup also taped to it, so you could have a cymbal at the time. So it'd be like it'd have like a clean sound, like a boom boom ting tang boom,
right,
like
nice.
That. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wanted to bust that back out for years. I don't know what happened.
You should.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, remember that the Shit Kit.
The Shit Kit and the Dick Stick. That could be the name of the album, man.
Yeah.
Just at least an EP,
Right.
Shit Kit and the Dick Stick. I'd buy that one. I'd wear that shirt, that's for sure. Especially the picture of Matt fucking Pinfield.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta have Matt Pinfield on, man.
The Shit Kit and the Dick Stick. Yeah.
It's like an upside down cross tattooed on the forehead.
Right. Those could be your alter egos too.
Yeah.
You guys got together, you said like 2003
or
so. You've been playing together since then, and
went through some names. We weren't always Spectrum Static. The whole big shift to the Spectrum Static started in like 2015.
Okay.
So before then, we started off. We were called Ekalela.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
That's a good band name.
I'm really weird about like seeing like too many bands with the same names, and I kept like searching that online, and I'd seen like how many people were actually using that. So I'm like, nah. So then I changed it to self-involved imagery, which nobody fucking used that.
Right.
You know, I mean, and that's still part of like a part of what we do. That's what I say that I create is it's like, well, what kind of music is it, man? Well, it's self-involved imagery. If you listen to, that's the, the lyrical content, so we were going by that. And then we made an album that I called Spectrum Static. And I had never did anything where it didn't have our name on the cover. And all it said was Spectrum Static. And I was like, you know what? That's really fucking cool. Like, why don't we that's what we are.
Yeah.
So that's what we are.
Nice.
Yeah. And you've got a lot of cool, and not just the shit hitting the dick stick, but the recording method too. You record a lot on like cassette too, don't you?
Yeah. Pretty much everything is like all like, it's done on a 4-track, it's a Yamaha MT 400 and a Tascam, 424 Porta Studio.
Nice. Sounds like it's a long shot for a label to pick up on something like that. I mean, like I said, I love this kind of shit. Not a lot of people do, though. So, I mean, how did you hook up with Forbidden Place and Tony and those guys?
Well, it was he contacted me. Like,
really?
Like I was just sick of just like I kept like like posting our songs from Bandcamp and just kept getting no response. And then you get on like Facebook and then there's like the suggested friends and all that. So like I was just like, man. So I just started going boom, 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 and just kept doing it over and over and over. And before long, I had like all these people. And then, he contacted me and was about like, hey, I'm Tony from Forbidden Place Records. And they do this yearly compilation that comes out in, January the 1st every year. So this was like last year, 2019, going into 2020. And he's like, do you want to put a song on it? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like nobody's ever asked me to do anything like that before. So... yeah, so we put the song Stereo Ghost on it, which is, it's on our A Sound Was Made EP. So that was like the last thing that we did before we did the album, our most recent album, which is the Change of Head.
Change of Head, yeah.
Right on.
Interesting. Yeah, those guys over there, man, they're diligent, prolific guys. Can't say enough good things about Forbidden Place.
You could tell they really love what they do.
Oh, yeah, man, totally. I mean, they're all over it. I mean, they're just like, they're always on the hunt for something. And the variety is what really like kind of draws me to it because, you listen to some of it. It's like one of my favorite bands that they put out is called the Kronkmen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard them before, but I very recommend it. I mean, and they're like a 3-piece instrumental and it's just fucking insane. And they call them, they're listed as like Surf Doom or something like that. I don't know. I just know that they're bad.
Right.
So, it's like something like that. And then they do have stuff that is more like, I don't know, like heavier Black Sabbath, doom kind of stoner rock, kind of, this, that, and the other. All of a sudden, it's like, here we are,
Yeah. More of an indie lo-fi. I guess the kind of sound, and it's but the thing is about them, man. I think it's never contrived. I think that's what's important. It's not just doom for the sake of being doom. Shit, I sound like beating a dead horse on this label, but man, I've said to people before: throw a dartboard anybody using this label, and you got a winner. There's just people complaining about not being enough good music out there, new music. It's like you just don't know where to look.
Yeah. You gotta like know where to go to find it
for sure.
And even since like we joined, like the catalog is, man. I mean, it's like doubled even in the past year. I feel like every time I get online, it's like there's another band. I'm like, God damn, dude.
How do they do that? Yeah.
And they're from everywhere. They're not just from the States. I mean, they got. Like this band, I think they're called Has. I think they're from Sweden. They're just kind of like a little 2-piece noise dealio that sound pretty badass. Scary Busey, that's another one you should check out. And the guy Jake that plays guitar in the Kronkmen actually plays guitar in Scary Busey. And they are badass.
Right.
Well,
another great band name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came up with a band name that has been in my head the other day. So we had kind of a little bit of the talk with my son the other day. He's 11, and we talked about pubic hair, and I just threw out the term Short and Curlies.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what an awesome band name. Short and Curlies would be.
Short and Curlies.
The Short and Curlies.
Yeah, that's what my bathtub looks like after I take a shower. And what's fucked up about that is they're not even pubes, man. That's just like my beard hair. It's kind of disturbing.
It's an impressive beard, man.
Yeah.
What do you do for maintenance on that thing? Balms, oils? How do you?
Nothing. No, it's just I'm a farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I mean, it just grows. I do nothing. I'll trim around it every once in a while, or like I'll actually have Chastity, my wife, my bandmate, and she'll do that. Which Chazzeah Bob, sorry, I didn't use the right handle. Like I am Fuzz McGee, and she is Chazzeah Bob. If we changed our names, then we become Spectrum Attack. So
right on.
Damn it, the secret is out.
What was your first gig together?
We played at this place in the Ville called the Highlands Tap Room. I mean, it was a fucking disaster. I was getting a mic stand ready before the show, and where I had like a bunch of duct tape wrapped around the end of it because I didn't have another clip. I was cutting it off, and I sliced my hand.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the hand that I pick with. So
pick with.
Okay.
So the whole time I was just like bleeding all over my guitar. That's back when we used to do these split sets because we would do self-involved imagery, and we were also this other dealy bob called the entomologist. So like what we would do is midway through the show, I would set down my guitar and I would pick up the bass. She would come out from behind the kit and play the baritone ukulele. So it was just like 8 strings, man. So ukulele and bass, which was a lot of fun. Like I really miss doing those shows. We just kind of moved past it, I guess. That at this point.
So what was the fail about the show? What was so fucked up about it besides the hand? Anything? Just sucked to play?
Well, that they didn't like the music.
Right. That tends to hurt things.
Yeah. They didn't like the music, and we were asked to like turn down. I mean, who the fuck asked a 2-piece turn down?
Noise rock group. Yeah.
that wasn't the only time that's happened to us. We do play really loud, but like you don't really hear that too often. It's like we're not Dinosaur Jr. or the Melvins or something shit that's so loud that makes you want to throw up. Right. We are loud, but like goddamn, there's only like 2 of us. So, but yeah, being told to turn down is kind of like that's going to affect the sound a little bit.
Yeah.
Where's my feedback?
I imagine that'd be the hardest thing about just playing with your wife in general, is that when you've got a shitty show or whatever, then you still got to go home with them, and you've got to lay next to them. You wake up next to them in the morning, and it's like, yeah.
No, we've always kind of just trudged forward. We've just been like, fuck it, let's just keep going. I mean, we always have.
Right.
I mean, we've taken it like more seriously, at times than others, just because there's been like so many breaks. With all the moving that I was telling you. I mean, it was really cool because during all that moving, when we were still self-involved imagery, I did an album called Retro Amnesia. And and it was recorded in all the different states that we lived in. So just because I did guitar in North Carolina, I might have did like the bass and the vocals in like Boise, Idaho or something like that.
Huh.
So yeah, that one, if you ever get on our Bandcamp, definitely check that one out. If you got time, because, it's pretty far out. She didn't play on all the songs on there because it was recorded in such a different way. Because I just went and I recorded everything, and there was no you doing the guitar and the drums at the same time. To be able to keep time better. But we managed to pull it off, where the songs with the drums do sound. I think they sound good. But
yeah,
that's just me.
Oh man, speaking of fucked up, that reminds me of that story Lisa was telling. And speaking of toadies, was it their first big gig, Matt? Do you remember? They broke her hand. She was doing tug of war, working with kids, like the YMCA or something like that. And they had
it was tug of war. It was like a battle of the bands type situation,
or something like that. Something on the show. But she broke her fucking hand the night that they were supposed to play, and went to the doctor, and it was her picking hand. So she was like, can you make this cast to where, like, I'm putting the pick between my fingers and just weld that fucker between my thumb and forefinger so I can play tonight?
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, she's a fucking beast, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's cool as hell.
Yeah.
We need to get her back on.
Yeah, we do. We need to talk to her. But I was like, wow, that's dedication right there. You know, not sorry, guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's more like, check this out. I got a fucking pick installed for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, man. Dedication. But yeah, did you guys back in the days before all of this, did you guys like just play mainly around that area or
Yeah.
hit the road?
We
Or
only played like at just different like, we tried to play as many like all ages as that we could.
yeah,
Which was kind of hard to do. Harder than what you would think, especially like kind of around there and the kind of shit that we were doing. But yeah, we just played at like different like coffee shops that were there, which were definitely really loud for
right.
to play in like that, where you're used to seeing somebody up there like playing with their fingers and they don't even have a microphone.
Right. Can you guys turn it down, please? We're trying to have our coffee.
Which Calvin Johnson plays like that, and I love that dude. He can pull that shit off.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that the MTV show that Truck Stop Love was on, John?
It might have been. I don't know. That's a funny story too, though.
Yeah. That was a good one. We had two bands that talked about, or two separate bands, the Toadies and Truck Stop Love were both at this event, and we got totally different sides of the event from Lisa and from the guys from Truck Stop Love. It was pretty hilarious, and they were like, "Oh, it was already a foregone conclusion. The Toadies were going to have it. We just got wasted." And
yeah, and the Toadies were like, "We barely remember committing to that show at all." It's something like Spring Break, MTV Spring Break talent contest of some kind or something. I don't know if that was the same. We'll have to clarify that and check on that. But I do know the story is definitely true of the welded in pick into the cast. Legendary lady, excellent bass thumper too. Recording and shit like that. How many albums have you cut altogether then with you and the wife?
Let's see. Counting like the other where what we ended up doing was going back and make like this huge like 25 track compilation of the self-involved imagery thing. But there was technically there was like 4 of those. Then there was this thing that I did called Sounds from the Subterranean Cave. Mm-hmm. So it was just all this really like weird like experimental stuff. And then the entomologist. Right. Then we got into the rest of it. So now it's we put out the self-titled, then an EP called The Sound Was Made, and then like at the same time we were recording that, we were also recording like a full-length album it's called Now and Again. Mm-hmm. So it features a couple of like new songs, and then we just did like some different versions of some older songs, and then we did like a pretty decent handful of songs just straight into the 4-track live. Oh, right. Mm-hmm. So then after that, that's when I started writing Change Ahead, which was actually going to be an EP actually at first, too. It was just going to be, I was going to kind of like split this thing into 2 things. Because, see, I also do those Fuzz McGee tapes. I don't know if you've checked out, like the Bandcamp thing, but I got like 3 of those.
Yeah. I think that was I think that was the first thing that I checked out of yours. I mean, just going back with Tony again, and just looking through Forbidden Place and trying to scan their label for guests. But yeah, I think that was the first, some of the first exposure I had to a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I like it's all done like with the classical guitar, a bass with a fuzz box, and keyboard and tambourine. So that's pretty much the lineup. Mm-hmm. Most of the songs. I mean, I do some things that are a little different, and then that's where they get a little more spacey. And then I'll do like the spoken word stuff with those. Yeah.
So are you self-taught then entirely?
Yeah, I don't know shit about music, man.
Yeah, I can't read it.
Yeah, no, I basically learned how to play, some handful of Nirvana songs when I was like 12, and
it took off.
I just kind of went from there. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how you make these chords. Well, that's all I needed, because all I ever wanted to do was write my own songs. Like I never See, like, we don't even like play cover songs, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people that do, it's just that, like, I've just never, I always wanted to play my own stuff. So, and that's just why we, kind of work tirelessly just on constantly like creating, new parts and, and then we kind of like stitch them together. And sometimes they're very organic and it just kind of happens.
Yeah. Is your wife getting more involved in the writing process now, though?
About to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
She just likes to play the drums. Then I'm pretty much left to like the rest of it. I mean, she's involved more in with like the digital production part of it, where I'm like the like the old school dude playing with the tape machines, and she's more pretty to you know what I mean, like technology and stuff like that. So if it wasn't for her, like a lot of our stuff would not even turn out, because she's the one that does like the like the digital part, make sure that everything sounds straight once it's coming off of the tape.
Yes, she's the Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Thank God for you people. I get so angry. I just get so angry when I try to do my own production. We tried it at first, and I almost abandoned the entire fucking podcast. If it really wasn't for Matt saying, you know what, I'll do the mixing. I was like, God, it wouldn't last.
So like what all goes into this like afterwards then? Like, okay, we're all talking, and then like afterwards you said that we all will have to do like some editing and stuff like that. Like how does that work?
So usually the reason we like to use this or the other thing that we like to use, Zencaster, is it records in separate tracks. That helps a lot. Yeah. So once I've got it in separate tracks, then I can kind of isolate people and, adjust levels, because it's just natural that people are their voice is going to go up and down, and volume's going to have to be adjusted from time to time. And there's a lot of volume tweaking in what I do. And then superfluous stuff that just doesn't need to be in there. Like, oh, we've talked about this already 3 times. Maybe I can just cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Right. And what I often say to others, like looking for advice, is and it may sound crude, but it's sort of like every episode, Matt would probably agree, is like a different sexual experience in some way.
Yeah.
It's like every time you're fucking, that's what you're doing. But every time's different. And everybody is different.
Right.
So it's like,
and so I'm definitely a virgin, because I've never I've never
but sometimes you got people who are loud and sometimes you got people who are loud.
Like, am I babbling too much? Because like I am known to just kind of word vomit, as they say.
Oh, not at all.
I'm usually pretty good with that. I'll let people word vomit. A lot of the time I cut out a lot of the uhs and the and
buzzy audio or just bad connections, or like I've said before, I am surprised at how many people we've talked to who are like gold album, platinum level artists. It's not like we get those left and right, but we get them often, and it's like, how many of them don't own a microphone in their house? I won't name names, but I am surprised by guests in general. It's all over the place.
Yeah, that is funny. That's refreshing to know that, because it's just like I'm one of them. It's like I couldn't even get my goddamn earbuds to work to do this. So.
Right. But yeah, I mean, musicians, we love music for one thing. It's goes in our blood. Matt was a DJ for many years. I was in a band, and we just always loved music. And we find also that musicians usually have at least some of the equipment that we need. They're used to talking to strangers, and they can talk about whatever on the fly, because they're used to doing that at bars on the road and shit like that with people.
Yeah.
Whenever. So they can usually carry on a good conversation. But I don't know. We don't always have musicians on either.
Not always. Primarily. We like to switch it up every now and then. We'll have
when we can. But we just love music so much, and that's really why it comes through. It's not necessarily that we're pulling to be a music show.
That's kind of our default. Yeah, when I'm looking for a new guest, I'm usually thinking musician, and just automatically. It doesn't mean I wouldn't like somebody else. And sometimes we have to have that conversation between ourselves, like, hey, we need to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you have, like actors or just like a visual artist or anything like that? Or
I really want to get more visual artists on the show. It's kind of hard well, I mean, honestly, I don't know how hard it would be because we always just go by the seat of our fucking pants anyway.
Right.
We've tried doing canned, interview questions. It never works out. I'd like to have more visual artists on, but we've had, directors on.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the board director of MUFON for the Organization for the Mutual UFO Network. Friends of ours who are actors, friends of ours who are just people that go back. But the most important thing is I can tell you if anybody's looking at advice, it doesn't matter what anybody does. If they're just an interesting person, have an interesting conversation.
Right. And you find them interesting. You have to find them interesting.
Right.
If you don't,
that's
then
important.
It's a waste of time for both parties.
Right. And I've met some people who've made some fantastic art who can't carry on a conversation for shit. And, and that's not a slight against them by any means.
I
didn't,
just don't know how to communicate like what they're doing or maybe they're backward about it or bashful.
And honestly, that's what I love them for. So it's like, how big of a douchebag do I sound like? I'm like, how dare they not be able to carry on a conversation with me? But they were able to
one
make
of the
this
things
record.
I've had a rough time up until recently, and a rough time talking about we're working on a new album now, but still I'll still refer to a Change of Head as the new album and come out in October. But the overall content of that album, lyrically and stuff, it was definitely a step away from what was a sound was made, where it was still more of that kind of spacey imagery to when it comes to Change of Head. There was a lot of life changes had taken place. There was a lot of bad shit had happened, and you listen to it, there's definitely it's got its angry moments for sure.
Sure.
Then it
but that's human.
a bunch of noise and shit.
Yeah.
So
but like I was saying earlier, not angry for the sake of being angry. That's what what I like about it. Yeah,
feelings, man.
Feelings, just the feels.
We've talked about this before, when we had Kristen Spires on, and people just thinking he's pissed off all the time. He's like, no, I'm not pissed off all the time. It comes out that way, but that's just the way I sing.
Right. It's this is just what I fucking say. They're just songs,
Right.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's what I have to say about them because someone's like, oh man, that is that's weird or that doesn't make sense and bullshit.
Right. And one thing that stuck out to me talking to him was just he was if I was really pissed off or if I was really in a bad mood, I couldn't record these records.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I can relate to that. It's why would I want to do anything if I was, pissed off, because that's what I do when I'm pissed. I just shut down.
You can't focus it.
Right.
You got to find a way to channel that anger and then, make it into something pretty.
Right. Right. Even if pretty means, you're sounding like you're screaming at a sledgehammer and an anvil.
Yeah.
For an hour.
Authentic.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got to be satiated. Got to be happy.
Definitely a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it was cool. We did some mixing some shit up. There were a couple songs that were cut off of it, but we did this song called Mirror Melee, which is definitely one of those more angrier songs. And the main instrument is it's just bass and keyboard and just a noise guitar in the background while she's beating the shit out of the drums. And then it's just and then it pauses and then it just spits these what you call haiku or American haiku or whatever, then bam, goes back into the next part. It's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty straightforward, and then it just ends.
Yeah.
Speaking of mixing things up, what's your wife doing, man? Bring her on.
Yeah, she can stop in and say hi, man.
All right, hang on.
We're not an exclusive club.
Hey, Chazzeah Bob of Spectrum Static. Say hello.
Hello.
What's going on? Hey.
So, I'll tell you what, now I'm moving the party from the bathroom to the... I figured I would do it in the bathroom. It's a good place to do vocals and shit since I didn't have the earbuds. But now I am in the living room. So this can be a two-party thing. She just flipped me off, but you all want to talk to her. You're getting me in trouble.
All right. So this asshole's been saying how he's like the driving force behind the band.
Yeah.
And, you're just kind of filler. No, I'm kidding.
He talked a lot about Meg White. And
he did.
How much,
he did. How much the White Stripes influenced everything you've done from the get-go. I don't hear anything. I hope we didn't miss
no
joke.
Well, it was nice having you guys on.
Right on. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we can barely hear you. I think that's what's going on.
I don't hear anything. Yeah.
Switch the audio back to whatever it was before. You'd have to share the phone back and forth. Way to go, Matt.
You don't have to worry about it, John. I'll edit it out.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
We broke it.
We broke it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you are.
Well, there you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah. Did you switch it to
cool.
speaker or something and just didn't work?
Yeah, I guess whenever I was walking in there, like my finger hit something.
Oh, okay. No, it sounded fine up until then. She's still around?
No, I'm back on the shitter.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right.
Go back to your little room with your little show with your little friends.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm gonna go back. Let's do this. Let's try this again.
Yeah, just don't touch anything.
Yeah.
I think it'll be all right.
All right, here she is now. Ask away.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Did you hear any of that shit we said? I don't know if you did or not.
I think I heard something about the White Stripes. I
Yes.
wouldn't really say that I'm influenced by her. I
We're
don't
joking.
really listen to the White Stripes, so I mean they're okay, but not something I'm super into.
Right.
We were just having fun.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
no,
it's
just
No, we're
fucking
used to it, man. Like I said, that's something that always has to be addressed at some point.
Yeah. Why?
Look, hey, I tell you what. Now, here's something that I never said anything to Tony about, but if you go to the Forbidden Place and you click on us, like on the album Change of Head, they kind of like to give a description of bands.
Right.
Like that, and it's cool. It's like you like Archers of Loaf, you like Pavement. Cool.
Right.
Fucking White Stripes.
Yeah.
I'll
It
talk
said
to
White
him.
Stripes on there.
I'll talk to him about that.
I went back and decided to listen to some White Stripes after reading that, and I was like, no, I
No.
don't really think we sound like that.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have made that connection at all.
No.
Yeah, like you say, I think, I like the White Stripes. I do, but I would not have made that connection at all.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Such is the way, people's minds work, I guess. It's like Babe Matt for many years had a dog named Maynard. So many people would say to him, like, Tool fan? And he's like, not really.
I like Tool. They're a fine band.
It's like, you're okay. I'm not like really big into their catalog or anything. It's true. I mean, he's not. Not that he dislikes Tool or anything.
No, I love Tool, but it's not like first band on my mind.
You're a much bigger
Right.
Flaming Lips fan. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, then you like Tool. But and I'm much more of a Tool
Darby.
fan. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know where that comes from.
Right. You like the Germs, dude? The Germs,
sir.
right?
Yeah.
Full name Darby Crash.
Darby fucking Crash.
Yeah.
And then this here you go. You want to take a big jump?
Mm.
So we got a cat named Penny,
Mm.
Penny Lane. So there's the Beatles. So
All over the spectrum.
yes.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
You're kind of encroaching on my territory there, John.
The puns. I got a friend. Well, maybe he's not. He's probably not listening to this at all. Past guest though, there's a cat named Keith Richards. And I just keep thinking, in order for that to be cool, he always has to call him Keith Richards. You can't just say Keith.
Right.
Yeah, call him Keith Rich.
You have to use his full name as a cat in order for it to be effective. Poor guy.
Yeah, there was a dude that attempted to teach me a little more about Open G. That when we were still living in Louisville, he lived in this. It was like an art house that was across the street, and a lot of people rented these like little itty bitty rooms for like $150 a month, and they were like lofts and shit. But dude was really good guitar player, and that's all he ever went on about was Keith Richards and. Tried to show me how to play an open G. That's how he talked. He's like, I usually do it like this.
Right.
So yeah, And the last I heard of that guy, he was hammered and he fucking drove his car into a McDonald's.
That'll get you. Seems legit. Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, he was all right. He went to jail. Like he was.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't like, and killed 15 elderly people.
Yeah.
This was, oh my God. This was a while.
That shouldn't.
I saw somebody that was wasted trying to pull into a McDonald's drive-thru not too terribly long ago, and they tried to whip around in the parking lot. It was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And they ran into, they've got the dumpsters that they've got there, and they had the big
the concrete cage.
Right.
Yeah.
And they just plowed right into it, trying to whip around in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And there's like steam and shit coming out from the car, and it's dripping stuff, and they just back up and just put into the drive-thru.
Yeah.
And
they went ahead and ordered?
Yeah, they went ahead and went through the drive-thru like nothing happened, and I was like, fuck, okay, I guess I gotta call someone.
Yeah. And it was probably like, I'll take a Shamrock shake. Sorry, the ice cream machine is broken.
What do you mean you don't have McRibs?
I drove 15 miles across town for the ice cream. Well, that was your first mistake. Yeah. McDonald's.
Yeah, and I knew another dude that passed out in the drive-thru in a Jack in the Box. I mean, he literally like passed out in the drive-thru.
Oh no.
Yeah, poor guy. His name is Dirty.
Yeah, probably didn't help, but sure he didn't get shot by the police.
Nope, Dirty D.
There you go.
Bitch more about McDonald's. I got lots of things I can bitch about with them.
Though, I think people look down their nose at something that has been providing them joy for many years. I think it's mean to do that to McDonald's, honestly. I really do.
No, they fucked me over a while back. I'm still pissed about it.
Yeah.
I went through the drive-thru and I waited. It was a long-ass line. And my kid wanted like nuggets or something. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm going to do this. So I get through the line and I'm trying to order it. And when I was ordering, I had to repeat it like 5 times. The girl just couldn't get it. And the last time she's like, okay, I got it. And I was like, it's not showing it on the screen. She's like, I got it. I'll fix it when you get up there.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then I get up there and they give me the fucking wrong order that I tried to have fixed, that I told them several times. And they're like, you're going to have to go through the line again if you want to get there. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh,
this is your
no.
And then the manager was like, my mess up. And I was like, yes, your mess. And she was like, and I told him, I'm not leaving. You're going to have to fix I'm not leaving. Well, I'm going to call the police.
What?
That was my experience at McDonald's recently.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking intense, dude.
I was so pissed off. And it was like a 15-minute wait just to get to through that line. I'm not going through the line again.
Yeah.
So,
I don't have a lot of problems with them. The only problem I have with mine is that they have a terms of endearment issue. I've talked about that before, where they call me darling or sweetheart. I don't care for that. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's not okay.
No, it's weird.
Guy nor gal, And the last time it happened to me, it's like, all right, hon, pull on up. All right, sweetheart, here you go. And I almost wanted to say, thanks, sugar thighs, and see how that would have gone over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm a married man, goddammit. I don't need anybody calling me sweetheart.
Yeah, no.
Aren't you glad you joined us for this conversation, by the way?
Nobody calls you pumpkin but me.
Well, see, speaking of, Chazzeah Bob just started off as being a like one of those like little cute names you call your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I see.
So then it just kind of stuck. I mean, we've been together for 17 years, so
nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
long
that
enough.
tonight.
Good job, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rare. That's rare these days.
Tonight's 14-year anniversary on my first date with my wife.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, heck yeah. Congrats, man.
We went and picked up something from the same restaurant that we went to on our first date, and it did not travel well. It's one of those meals you just kind of have to eat there, right? You get it home and it's all soggy and gross,
right? Like, oh, the same cat is not working there that was 14 years ago. I wonder why. Yeah.
See, it's weird how you can like remember like certain anniversaries of certain things. Speaking of anniversary, coming up March 12th, 2004 was when we moved in together.
Ooh.
So I see. I remember shit like that, and she's always like, "How do you remember all these dates?" And usually it's like the other way around, like, not meant to be like a sexist thing, but the other way around, somebody else remembering the dates. I don't know why. I've always been able to like remember weird little dates like that.
Yeah, I'm terrible at that. I don't remember my like mother's birthday or children.
Well, shit,
really
John,
bad.
you forget your own birthday sometimes.
I do.
How many times have you wound up on the wrong year?
Twice, and this year was another one, and it was like a milestone one. So I thought I was 46 for like all year, and it was like, no, you were 45, and I lost a year. The worst one is I lost being 40 or lost being 39. Essentially because I thought I was 40 that whole year.
And that's what I keep doing. Like, I keep saying I'm 40 because I'm 39. I just turned 39
right.
3 months ago, but like, I'm like, fuck, man, I might as well be 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. I don't care anymore. It's like I stopped getting cheap car insurance a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, my wife is always the one to call me out. She's like, you're 46 now. You just turned 40. I'm not 47. No, you're not. Yeah, it happens to me a lot. I'm terrible with that. And I have a degree in history, which is really strange. Which is
having
all
a tough
about
time remembering the dates.
Yeah,
right. Everything happened in 1770.
Yeah, 17 something. I don't know. Civil War 18. I don't know.
It's like my kid when he's recalling like memories from his youth,
When I was a child.
It was always when I was 5. And I'm like, holy shit, everything happened when you were 5, man.
That was a long year, dude. Yeah.
He's a drummer too.
He is. How is as far as like we talked about, Fuzz was talking earlier about the adaptation of the kit over the years. What are your preferences on gear now? You've been playing for like 15 years and learned all this drumming and everything else. What's your go-to now? Are you getting more snobby about what you play with or not?
Not too bad. Like, I started off with like a pretty shitty drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of that?
It was
brand?
like a Pulse. It was a musician's friend. It was like $100 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I started off with, but it was kind of more so to make sure that this was what I was going to excel at. And over time, I started upgrading. I got the Pearl drums,
right.
Evans heads, Zildjian, ZBT, crash cymbals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of been my go-to. I haven't really gone up from there. I would love to like get like a D drum set, but like maybe on down the road. But for now, I'm happy with what I've got. It does the
job. Sure.
What brand coffee mug are you guys up to?
Big Muff. Right.
What was that?
What brand coffee tin? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're from the Folgers to the chock full of nuts. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I was talking about the shit kit and the dick stick.
And the dick stick, yeah. Shit kid and the dick stick.
Prehistoric drumming.
Right.
I mean, we still got some songs. I have a song where like I actually did all the tracks I played on there, and it's called Klinger, and it's about MASH, the fucking dude Klinger on there. So
right on.
Yeah, you could listen to that on the Bandcamp. Go to the Sounds from the Subterranean Cave. Dude, there's actually a few songs on there. I think there's like 30 songs. And there's several that have the shit kit featured.
Right on. I think that's one of the hardest things about gear. I mean, I'm a low to mid-level guitar player, but it's like I'm at that point where I know the difference between a good guitar and a shitty guitar.
Right.
And I played a good guitar, and it's like I know what they feel like. It's like, but they're so much more fucking expensive. It's like, why is that jump there?
Exactly.
And you can't take just the middle ground and just get, it could be, it might have, fancier inlays or whatever. It's not going to play the same as like a, $1,000 guitar versus $100 guitar.
Yeah.
One's like playing a barbed wire fence. The other one's like butter.
Well, I tell you, something that I heard was, Dylan Carlson, Earth. I read something somewhere where he was like, there's no reason why anyone should spend over $600 on a guitar.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I won't even spend $300 on a guitar.
Right.
It's a big fucking secret, though, isn't it? Like what those guitars are in a lot of ways. And that's one thing I always regret about talking to some people about, like, help me out here. Where do I go? Where do I land on?
Right.
And, some of the snobbery is hard to fight. It's like, dude,
I hate to do it, but it's worth bringing up Jack White and his JCPenney guitar.
Sure, the Silvertone,
Yeah, I did like that. I mean, it looked cool.
Right. Yeah. And now they're charging like $700 for an airline guitar. And they were like $110 guitar from Sears.
Oh, right, yeah. Before, I mean, you can't even get a Silvertone harmonica for less than like 50 fucking bucks.
Right.
It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack. Haunting this podcast.
Yeah.
I hope he listens.
I hope so. I'm sure he gave him a piece of my mind. Him and Meg. I'll let him know as soon as we get done.
I guess they can come on.
I suppose. Just so I can bitch about this.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm done. No. But,
and I won't lie, I do like some White Stripes songs. Like, I don't completely dislike them. I just,
True.
they're okay.
The dude can play the blues, I think.
That, yeah. I can see that with that.
Fly Farm Blues, some of his covers, like Little Willie John, shit like that I like.
Right.
And, I'd be lying if I said that I didn't like Seven Nation Army when it came out,
Right, yeah.
I was just about to say that how much I didn't fucking like that song.
Really?
I did.
His friends didn't like it either. He said in an interview once, he played Seven Nation Army, and it was like his friends. He's like, "What do you think of that?" And they were like, "Meh." Packing stadiums all across the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it's a fucking hit.
Yeah. And his buddies are like, tell you to leave it. What else you got? That's hilarious. So what else you got, or what else did you have lined up before COVID shut everything down to shit? You got anything that you're putting on hold or trying to parse out as far as figuring out how the rest of this is going to go?
Nah, I mean, like we played we played a gig here, and then there was this other thing that was just a fucking disaster, and the venue got pissed off at some of the other people that was there. It just turned into like this big fiasco. So it sucked like to load up all of our gear and go play the show. That didn't happen. Right. So I mean, we've just always like stuck to ourselves, and and just like writing, recording constantly, and then like using SoundCloud, which I got a shitload of stuff on SoundCloud, and doing that, and then Bandcamp, and just trying to exist digitally, that sort of thing kept going. And then luckily that's when Tony found me, which was just incredible. Like I was just beside myself that finally there's like some dude just randomly was like, hey,
Yeah.
But after that, we're just, we're working on some new songs now that we're hoping to have this album done by the beginning of May. I really wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
And hopefully to eventually resume playing shows. Like, it'd be awesome to do that this year.
Wouldn't it, though?
Yeah. We're also, we're going to be filming, like, a real video for the song Groggy Froggy Man. So
cool.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Who's, are you going to be doing that, like, on your own or just together? Or you got an artistic director or anything? Or?
No, we're just kind of plunging into it ourselves. I've got a bunch of ideas I've got jotted down. It's going to be kind of the Frogman theme and in the life of.
So me now with a frog head and a guitar.
Right on.
Flannel.
I want to see this. Yeah.
Yes. Living your best life. That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah, we can't wait to get into it. It's going to be fun. I mean, we were going to start production on that already, but then, of course, like we were talking about earlier, the snowstorm screwed us up last week, so it set things back a few days, a couple weeks, whatever.
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm closing my eyes and shaking my head in trauma over that. It has to go away.
It's getting old.
It was awful.
Yes.
Still is. Yeah.
How's vaccination stuff going up there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think up here they're still mostly focusing on seniors and people with pre-existing health conditions. Like, I definitely don't think it's gotten very far. And a client of mine said that she had to wait 3.5 hours the other day for hers, and she works at a school.
Yeah.
So, like, they're getting them first, and then, like, the places they have them set up, it's just long lines, like, you're waiting to get into a concert or some kind of, like, sporting event.
Yeah.
Black Friday or whatever the fuck,
That sucks.
It does suck. I want mine. But, I mean, it's like I gotta say, though, every time I just don't complain. Like I said in last week's episode, just like every time I see somebody get a vaccination, I'm like, good. More of that. Even if it's not me. Let's do more of that. As long as they're rolling them out. I really want one, though.
Yeah, well, I was really lucky. I already got mine.
Oh, nice.
And it wasn't a huge line when I did it. It wasn't that terrible. I was in and out within half an hour probably.
Wow, you're lucky.
Yeah.
And that's 15 minutes of it was sitting because you have to sit for 15.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, too, is we're on the same tier and we're in the same state. However, Matt's in Kansas City. I'm in a medium city, Columbia, like right in the middle. Mm-hmm. So big time college town. What we got, about 100,000 people maybe, Matt?
Right.
And, so I can't help but think, regardless of us being on the same tier, that has something to do with it.
Probably.
But our local universities they keep telling me you're in the tier right now, but we don't have them. So just hang in there.
Oh, wow.
And I will.
Just keep wearing that mask.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all got it.
At any given time, I got like 5 of them on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about them having vaccination for kids yet. And I'm kind of bothered that that's not been in the conversation yet.
Yeah, because the whole thing previously was like, well, kids just aren't getting it. And it's like, are they not getting it or are they not going anywhere? Because I think that's probably part of it, 6 months ago. I think there's so much we don't even know. Not that I'm denying science whatsoever. I think we should go with whatever the fuck those people tell us to do, because I'm not a virologist. And I believe them. It's funny how we haven't done that for kids yet.
Yeah. Well, it just kind of sucks because I'm like, my wife's got it. I've got it. We can actually fucking do a little more participating in the world right now.
Yeah.
But no.
A while back, it was really weird. We went up to Seattle and we hadn't eaten out at a restaurant in 8 months.
Right.
So they had some dining that was open there. So there's a really, really fine Thai place that we'd like to eat there that's in Bellevue. And we went and it was just fucking weird, man. You had to scan a QR code that was on the table, and that's how you got access to the menu, because you want physical menus given out. You open it up and you look through it and be like, oh, well, I want that. Yeah, no, it was just all on your phone. Just man, this is just, for me at the time, it was just too much. It really weirded me out.
That is weird. Yeah, it's never going to be quite the same again, and that it's going to take some adjusting. It's going to feel weird to be in public without a mask, honestly.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Wonder if I'll be able to keep my mouth shut. Because I know I'm walking around with a gaping open all the time like a mouth breather, but nobody can see it, Hopefully I'll be able to keep my lips closed.
Right.
Well, when I take mine off, it makes me look like I have a handlebar mustache.
Yeah, the beard thing. The beard crease. It's rough. Going through some product lately.
Yeah, see, you were talking about that earlier. Yeah, maybe I need to get sort of something to kind of tame it down a little bit. So that a balm. Happen.
I'll have to talk to my wife about making some more. She makes a good beard oil when she...
Yeah, when she will.
Yeah, when she will. She can
gives it to me free. That's what I miss. I was just talking to my son's down from Kansas City. We were going to tell Matt earlier. It's like one of our buddies, BC, is doing a cover or doing a tribute show for Bowie.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Really? BC is?
Yeah,
that ought to be interesting.
Yeah, on those guys. So, and I was like, fuck. I mean, I just haven't been to a show in so long, but it's like, my God, myself, my kid, can we keep can we stay away from everybody? Can we, God, I need it so bad, but I'm so scared.
What was your last one?
My last show. It was probably our last show.
Yeah, it was Pigface for us.
Yeah, seeing Pigface in Kansas City on Thanksgiving.
No, wait, I saw another one after that.
Yeah, you did.
I went to see Red Kate and
Arson Class. Guys. Yeah. Black Site show.
It's funny because it was Built to Spill's the 20th anniversary for Keep It Like a Secret.
Oh, nice.
Sad. They played here in Portland 6 days in a row, and we still had to drive to Seattle to see the show because every fucking one sold out. The venue was just almost walking distance from our house. So, we drove up there and we saw that, and it was a really good show.
Yeah.
The Flaming Lips are doing a bunch of shows with their Bubbles.
Yeah, I saw that one in Oklahoma City. It sold out fast.
Yeah, well, then they open more shows and they just keep selling out. And I'm like, Oklahoma City, it's just a few hours from here. I want to go.
I don't know if I could do that, man. Just that bubble.
Yeah, that fear of claustrophobia setting in.
What if you got to pee? What if you get tired of smelling your breath and you're going to throw up? It gets hot in there. I don't know.
Wouldn't it get foggy too? Like, how do you keep it from?
I would think so.
Like having to constantly wipe it down, you'd have to take a rag in with you or something.
Yeah. And like the dude next to you is like, he's drunk and that's fine, but he's, 8 feet away. But every time he stumbles, it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Sorry, dude. Blah, 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 blah.
But imagine the mosh pit.
Oh, yeah.
How much fun would that be?
That would be. Except for us, we're kind of old and fat.
Yeah.
I think
Well, that's probably the only kind we could survive these days.
We're going to be the foundation. We're going to be the base of that pit.
Right. I'm gonna get 2 shots in, and then I'm just gonna lay down in my bubble.
Right. Yeah. Wait for a waitress to come by. That's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Okay, how are you gonna get that to me? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They're doing it though somehow. People just buck up and probably don't order beers.
Yeah. Do they use laser pointers?
Maybe.
Would those work through there? Yeah.
That's for the kids. The QR codes. That's what they're doing now. That's what it'll be. It'll be.
I would like a Heineken, please.
Right. What? I can just see that waitress surfing across the top of you, in the bubble. Poor gal. Shit. The Flaming Lips show. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It would. I've never seen them.
Oh, they're so good live.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I never have either. I mean, I have a lot of buddies like in the past that have. I guess I'm one of those dudes that I just kind of fell off at about Cloud States Metallic,
Uh-huh.
And then Zyreka, I could get into that just because it was just too fucking weird for its own good. So
Right.
that was pretty neat. And Soft Bulletin. I came around to Yoshimi for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some good songs on there. It's just nothing I would pop in. Now, the only one out of modern times that I can tell you that I am super impressed with, that I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with me, is Embryonic. Like, I don't know what it is, but I fucking love that album, dude.
Yeah. Now I have to listen to it
really,
more.
really bizarre.
I think right around the time that came out, I started getting bombarded with a lot of, or at least that I was aware of it, I started getting bombarded with a lot of other content. I think that's been the problem with the Lips for me for a long time. It's just there's always something else that I'm.
Yeah, they're hard to keep up with.
They're hard to keep up with.
Did you feel like everything they do, you need to give some time?
Right.
Telepathic Surgery.
Yes.
Gotta go for that one. Yeah. Redneck School of Technology. I mean, how could you not like a song called that?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just a cool band in general. Smart cats. Very talented. So, we talked a lot about Bandcamp. Talked about things like Forbidden Place Records. Anywhere else we can find your shit? Anything else that you want to plug or mention or anything? I don't want to keep you guys on all night or anything.
Well, just, Spectrum Static on SoundCloud. We have a shitload of different songs that are up individually on SoundCloud.
Live performances on YouTube, just where we filmed ourselves doing select songs. There's that as well.
There is a bunch of that. That was our way of, just like we were talking about, like not being able to play shows.
Mm-hmm.
We call our little studio practice space, we call it the Noise Box.
Right.
So, there's like we have a shitload of videos of us just playing in there. So yeah, if you just want to look us up on YouTube, there is a treasure trove of live performances of stuff. So yeah, between that and then of course the Bandcamp, having the variety of what we are now and then the projects that we dabbled in the past and whatnot.
Right on. Like I said, we don't want to keep you on all night or anything. And thanks for joining us, man. We had a really good time. For sure.
Cool. Yeah, man. I had a blast. I was a little nervous about babbling. I was hoping I was like kind of keeping on task.
Yeah, did great.
I've never done anything like this before.
We'll just edit you out of it. That's fine.
Yeah. No, your wife did a good job.
We know where the real talent is.
Yeah.
Why, thank you.
No, man, you're talented.
Yeah, I really dig what I hear and love to promote it, love to pass it around. Everybody, please check out Spectrum Static if you haven't already. Check out Forbidden Place Records as well. And these cats are on it. Yeah, let us know if anything else pops up, man. But just so everybody knows, you've been listening to Undetermined, the podcast.
With Fuzz McGee of
Spectrum Static.
Yeah. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a good evening, afternoon, whatever.
All right. Well, cool, man. Thanks for having us on. And yeah, man, you all have a lovely evening, and we shall meet again in the future.
Right on.